Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to come on and record my birth story. It was a while ago now. She was born on February 1st, 2020 at 1:01 a.m. and it's kind of harder for me to remember now some of the details, and that's why I kind of want to talk about it or just go on here and tell you guys about it, just because I'm gonna be honest, you guys, as time goes by you tend to forget. I remember that she was born. I remember the feeling, how I felt when she was on me. I remember some parts of it, but for most of it I was pretty out of it, and I'll tell you guys how that goes and why that is later on in this video. So I went to my gynecologist on the 29th, and this was my 37th week checkup. At this point I'm going every week just because it's my third trimester, it's towards the end, and she wants to see how much I've dilated. So I went to my OB on the 29th of January, and that was a Wednesday, and they took my blood pressure and I was high. I don't remember the numbers, but I remember that she was a little concerned, so they took it twice that day, one in the beginning of my appointment, one at the end, and I was still high for both. And they took, in every appointment you have to pee in a cup, and in that cup they test your pee obviously, and I guess my pee had high protein in it, so she told me that she was a little worried about preeclampsia. So just to monitor it, and I was gonna get more tests done, so I was gonna get some blood tests done and all that stuff to see how that was gonna go. So my appointment ended, I went to go get the blood tests, and on Thursday at the appointment she told me that she was gonna call me with my results. So on Thursday the 30th, and okay, I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. So Carlos had started a new job, and he was leaving Monday mornings and coming back Friday nights because he would travel to Dixon, Illinois, and then from there they would take him to Springfield for training, and he got this job with the state. So he wasn't with me Monday through Friday, and that was the first week that had happened. So he had left that Monday for his training, and on Thursday I was like nervous because she's like, I'll call you, because like, I'll call you when I get the test results to see what to do from here on. Okay, so I'm over here panicking, like, oh my gosh, what if I do have preeclampsia, or what if this and that, you know, a lot of things were going through my head. And she didn't call me. I went to work on Thursday, and at noon I couldn't take it anymore, so I called her. I gave her a call, and a nurse picked up, or they didn't. The office picked up, and they're like, we'll transfer you to a nurse. If they don't pick up, leave a voicemail. So I was like, okay. So I left a voicemail. No one answered. No one got back to me. I went home. I got on my shift. I had to go pick up extra contacts because I had just run out of contacts. So I went to Sam's, and right next to Sam's is Portillo's. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get Portillo's because I'm hungry. So I grabbed Portillo's, and I drove back home, and I ate my food there. And while I'm eating, I get the call from my doctor, and she's like, yeah, your test results came back. You have a slight preeclampsia, like it's beginning. You need to go to labor and delivery at the hospital, check in, and we'll see what we can do from there on. Okay, so they can check me more. I guess that was the plan. So at this point I'm like crying. I'm like, my husband's not home, and she had known that from the appointment because I had told her, I'm like, he's working Monday to Friday, he comes home Friday. I don't want to go through this alone, you know. And even if he wouldn't have made it on time, my parents were there, and they were taking good care of me, because at the time we were living with my parents still, and they were just checking up. I already had my hospital bag ready. I had her hospital bag ready. Everything was set. If you guys can hear her, that's her. She's trying to go to sleep. I feel like I'm disturbing her. Let me turn on her little mobile. She loves that thing. So yeah, so where was I? So I went home, I got the call. She's like, finish your dinner, take your time, but just get there when you get there, okay? So it wasn't anything of like a rush or anything like that. And I was like, I can't believe this is happening. I got very emotional. When you're pregnant, you're emotional in general. So I started bawling my eyes out, and my parents were there and they're like, what's wrong? And I was like, I think it's gonna be time. Like, they told me to go to the hospital to check into labor and delivery. And yeah, so my dad was there, my brother was there when I was eating, and we waited for my mom to come home from work, and she got home like 30 minutes or an hour later. I was still eating when she got home, and then I went to go shower. So I showered, I got like finishing touches like the chargers, my laptop, all that stuff that I needed, and I called Carlos and I was like, hey, like my doctor said that I might have preeclampsia, so they're considering inducing me. I have to go to the doctor now. He's like, what? I have a test tomorrow. So this is Thursday, and he's like, on Fridays they have tests. He's like, I have a test tomorrow, I'm supposed to study. Like, how is this, you know, like I can't study now, I can't focus. And I was like, no, finish your day. I'm sure this is a process, so it takes long. So finish your day, don't stress, study. I'm gonna be okay. My parents are with me. And yeah, so that had happened. Wow, I'm already 7 minutes into the video and I haven't even gotten to the actual labor and delivery. I will put in some clips. I did record some of it, and then Carlos kind of recorded some of it when he was there, just because he's like, you're gonna regret not recording this. And I was just like, get the camera away from my face. And believe me, I don't look pretty. I literally, I look like I went through it, and I definitely did go through it. So don't mind how ugly I look. This was Thursday night, so I went to the hospital. I arrived at the hospital like around 8 p.m. I got checked in, I got everything, the paperwork, signed the paperwork, all that stuff, and they put me up to the monitor to check the baby's heartbeat, her contractions. I didn't have any contractions. I was on Wednesday when I got checked by my OB. She did tell me I was 1 centimeter dilated, but I wasn't getting any contractions. So that had happened, and I was there at the hospital for like an hour and a half when the nurse came in and she's like, your blood pressure is high. It's still high. They were monitoring every like 10 to 15 minutes. They were checking it, and she was gonna come in. I think I was sleeping, or I don't really remember that part, but she didn't come in to talk to me, or I was on the phone. Yeah, I was on the phone, so she didn't want to interrupt, so she left and then came back later, and the blood pressure machine had already checked me one more time and it was higher. So she came in and she's like, oh, I was gonna come in and tell you what the doctor had told me, plan A, but now the monitor is reading something higher, so it's plan B, which means that we are gonna start the induction process. Plan A was just to keep you overnight for observation, and if it spiked up, then we would start it then. But she was like, we're gonna have to, just because your safety and the baby's safety. And I was like, no, like my husband's here. She's like, this is what we'll do. I'll talk to the doctor and see if we can push it till midnight. So on midnight, so technically it will be Friday, we will start the induction. So Thursday at midnight. Does that make sense? You guys know what I'm talking about. So she was like, we'll start it then, and it takes time. The process takes time. So she's like, I'm sure your husband will be here. And I was like, okay. So take in mind, now it's midnight. I started going to sleep, or I fell asleep, and it was midnight, and the nurses were coming in to check up on me, and my blood pressure had somehow gone down. It depends what side you lay on. I think it was the side that it helps. So I like laid through the night that side because it's my favorite side, and my blood pressure was going down because of that. So they were like, at midnight when they checked it, it was low, so they're like, we can push it a little bit more towards like 2 or 3 a.m. So around 3 a.m. I got my first dose of it's a little pill that they put inside your cervix, and that just starts loosening up your cervix, just preparing your body or telling your body that it's time, you know, it's gonna be time, or trying to trick your brain. So that was my first dose. I still wasn't feeling anything. I think towards like 5 a.m. I started contracting, but it was very minimal. I didn't feel it at all. And then around 6 or 7 I think it was, they put the second pill. She's so cute. Her mobile, she doesn't cry. You'll hear these little sounds, and that's cues that like she wants attention, and something's wrong. So we'll see how it goes from here. I think she's trying to fall asleep, but anyway, at 7 a.m. they put the second dose of that pill inside my cervix, and they're supposed to do it 4 times every 4 hours, or a total of 4 times, once every 4 hours. So at 7 I got my second one, and then at 11 I got my third one. So now at 11 I was feeling it. Not as bad. There were bearable. I was still laughing, I was still having a conversation, and throughout this whole process both my parents stayed at the hospital with me. I got there right before they had the flu restriction, which wasn't the coronavirus, which is going on right now, but it was a flu restriction that only 2 adults can be in the room with you at a time. And I got there the day before, so they were starting that on Friday evening. They were gonna start the actual enforcing the rules. So they were being very lenient throughout my process, just because it had just started and not all the nurses were communicated or were told that it had started, so some of them let it slide. But for the most part it was only 2 at a time with me anyway. It was just, and it didn't count, the father did not count, so it could be the father and 2 other people. So my dad and my mom stayed the night, and they slept in those little couches. They're troopers, and I love them so much for supporting me through it all, because I honestly feel like I could not have done this alone, and that's why I'm so grateful for my family. I'm trying not to cry. I guess I'm still a little emotional. And see how I'm going all over the place? It's just so like I'm trying to wrap my head around all the details. But anyways, yes, it was 11 p.m. that's where I left off. I mean 11 a.m. and they put in the 3rd dose of that pill in my cervix, and I am now opened up 3 centimeters around there, and I was feeling it. And at this point around 1 and 2 I was kind of getting dosed off. The nurse came in and she's like, we can give you medication to make you a little comfortable. And my ego, I feel like it was an ego thing. So I kept saying no. I was like, I'm good, I'm fine. They hurt, but you know what, so many other women have done it, like I know I can do it, you know. So it's just like it was fine. So then Carlos ended up coming in. I don't remember the time he was there. It was probably like 3 or 4. At this point they were hitting hard. Like I felt them. Like I didn't want him talking to me. I didn't want anybody talking to me. I had to go pee and I had to carry everything. It was such a pain in the butt. And I was in the bathroom like in pain and in pain, like, you know. And he was like, are you okay? I'm like, what do you mean, dude? Like, why are you asking I'm okay? Like, I'm in pain. Like, no, I'm not okay. And I just went back to bed, and I was just like breathing. And honestly, like, I'm gonna tell you guys something right now, that the labor room that I was in looked completely different in my videos and how I remember it feeling when I first got there than when I was in pain and contracting. I felt like the whole room looked different. I don't know how to explain it. It felt bigger. It felt like, I don't know how to explain it. But anyways, it started to get to a point where I was like, yeah, I think they checked me, and that hurts when they check you for how dilated you are, that hurts. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts. But I think I was 3.5. Yeah, I had only dilated half a centimeter. I was so much pain, and that was like for a couple hours. I think they checked me again at 7 p.m. So at this point I told the nurse, like, yeah, I want it, like I can't anymore. And the problem was that I was doing fine with my breathing. At some point I could not tolerate the pain, that I started crying, and that crying like put me in panic mode, and I lost my breathing. So I just could not, and they were so constant, because that's what, oh, I missed the part. They gave me the give me a second, right before Carlos came in, around 3 or 4, yeah, because it was 11 I got the 3rd dose, and then I was supposed to get another dose because it was 4, remember, and I only got 3. And so the other one I was supposed to get at 12, 1, 2, 3, at 3. And they were like, you know what, we're just gonna not, because your cervix is opened enough, because I was already like 3 centimeters, I believe. And they were like, we're gonna go ahead and put you in that, what's it called? Pitocin. I think that's what it's called, right? Pitocin. They're like, we're gonna go ahead and put you in Pitocin. But they waited an hour, so around 4. So at this point Carlos had arrived. I was already in Pitocin when he arrived, so they put me in Pitocin. He got home, he got to the hospital. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but I hope you guys are still keeping track of where I'm going. So it's 4 p.m. I'm hooked up to the Pitocin, and that's when my contractions really started to kick in, and that's why I was in so much pain. So I had to carry my Pitocin machine to the bathroom or wherever I would go. They didn't let me walk just because I was connected to wires, so I was in bed the whole time. But Carlos ended up arriving. He was telling me everything's gonna be okay, and I just remember him telling me, like, you got this, like, this is what your body, like, him staring into my eyes, like I felt like my soul was touched by him. He was telling me everything was gonna be okay, that my body was made for this, but if I had to get the pain medication, if I had wanted to get the epidural, it was completely okay. You know, he was just very, very reassuring, and in that moment, man, I fell in love with that man so much more. Yeah, it was amazing experience, and I feel like it strengthened our marriage a lot. And my mom on the other side was telling me, like, Mija, like, you don't have to go through this pain, like, God provided medication for a reason, like, you're no less of a woman if you take it. Like, she was also very reassuring. And so the nurse came in, she's like, I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that epidural, just because I could not anymore. And she was like, okay. She's like, but this is the thing, the doctor that does the epidural, I'm not even gonna try the anesthesiologist or whatever. I'm gonna embarrass myself trying to say that. They're in surgery right now, in a C-section with the doctor, so you have to wait until that's over, and there's someone ahead of you. And at this point I was done with the pain. She's like, but I can give you something in your IV to calm down, the narcotic to calm down the pain. So I was like, yeah, I didn't want it, because the last thing I wanted was medication. Like, I wanted to have this as natural. The angle's a little different because I moved it, because I had to put a new battery in, or a new memory card in. So now I forgot where I was at. Okay, oh yeah, so I had someone ahead of me for the epidural, and I was like, okay, so they put medication on my IV. I said it was okay, because like I was saying in my last clip, was that the last thing I wanted was medication, and suddenly I got all the medication I could get. But it's okay. I mean, it made me enjoy my birth a little bit more, because I was in a lot of pain, and I guess being induced is a little bit more painful just because they're so constant. Like, you're forcing your body to labor when it's not ready to labor. So they were a lot more constant, and I guess I really can't say that it's more painful than the other way, because I've never given birth without being induced or naturally. So I got the medication, the pain meds, through the IV, and I would still feel the contractions, but they were bearable at this point. Like, they hurt, but I could breathe again, because before I was like out of control crying and it was just really bad. So I took a hold of myself. The only problem is that it got me very, very drowsy. So after this point, I don't remember much. I knocked out, I think, until they came in with the epidural, and I have a short clip of the epidural process that Carlos took, but then they told him that he couldn't record in there, or he couldn't record them doing it, so he had to turn the camera off, so you can't really see the needle going in, but they were preparing me for it. Dilated, and I was feeling great at this point. I couldn't feel my legs, I couldn't feel the contractions, I felt amazing. So I fell asleep. I don't know how long I was asleep for, because I don't remember actually falling asleep, but I woke up around 12:50, 12:30, around that time, because my daughter was, the only reason I know that because my daughter was born at 1:01 a.m. and we kind of wanted her to be born before midnight, because she would have had the same birthday as my husband, the 31st, January 31st. But she decided to have her own birthday on February 1st, so that's totally fine too. My husband's like, hey, I don't get to share my birthday. I was like, okay, my camera's acting up. I guess it's my cameras were saying like, hurry this up. I woke up to a sensation of pressure, like, but it hurt. It was so much pressure, and for me, my brain translated as pain, and I started screaming like bloody murder screaming, or that's how it felt. And every couple of hours the nurse would come in to switch me. So they would put a peanut, it was like a ball shaped of a peanut for you to put in between your legs. Whatever, it's supposed to help. Anyway, so she would reposition me. And at this point, I was facing the opposite direction of where my call button was, like the little remote with the nurse's button. I was facing back and I couldn't move because I couldn't feel my legs. I was facing this way and I felt the sensation and I just started screaming, and Carlos was knocked out. Keep in mind that he drove from Springfield all the way here. So he was on the road for like 4 hours, and 4 to 5 hours. So he was exhausted, he was tired, and I was screaming and that didn't even wake him up. And I was like, Carlos, 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 and nothing, absolutely, he would not move until, I don't know, by miracle of God, my phone was on my side. I don't know how that happened. It was like underneath the blankets. And I called my mom and I was like, I need someone to get in here like real quick, like I'm in pain, something's going on, I don't know what's wrong. So my mom and my dad ended up coming in. That's when Carlos woke up because he heard the door open. Maybe I wasn't screaming loud enough, I don't know. But at this point, and then the nurse came in because I was like, something's wrong, I'm feeling pressure like down there, like it hurts and this and that. So they flip me facing up and they make me open my legs, and she checks and it's like, oh yeah, the baby's head is right there, like you are about to give birth, it's gonna happen. And I was like crying because it hurt so bad. So they're calling the doctor and letting her know, you know, like this is happening now, and she had to drive to the hospital. So she finally, I don't know how, at this point I'm just so out of it. I'm in pain, I'm loopy from the drugs, I'm just not completely, I'm not all there. I did ask for a mirror and they remember that, like I asked for a mirror way before and they did remember that, so they placed the mirror so I got to see it when she came out. I saw her hair, I saw everything. And I had my dad on my left side and my husband on my right side. And maybe some of you might think, oh, it's weird that your dad was there. You don't think about that, like in the moment. I just wanted to get that baby out of me, like it's just, yeah. And it wasn't awkward afterwards. So I had my husband on the right, my dad on the left, and then my mom on by my feet behind the doctor. And she was just, you know, they were all giving me support. And the baby came out. It was 9 pushes, a total of, no, sorry, 5 pushes, a total of 9 minutes. And she was out and she had a lot of hair. Now she's 2 months. She's gonna be 2 months in 2 days. All right, no, tomorrow, to Wednesday. Yeah, she's gonna be 2 months tomorrow, the 1st of April. So I'm gonna show you guys so you guys can meet her. Definitely was the best moment of my life, even though I don't remember most of it. But having her on my chest, it was beautiful, and having my husband next to me through the whole thing was even more beautiful to me. I'm gonna get emotional and I'm trying not to. But yeah, so I think that's it. That's literally all that happened. This baby does not cry. God gave me a good baby, and I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful for this amazing blessing. And I'm so grateful for everyone that supported us through the way. Family members and friends and people from church. A lot of people from church I know were praying for us for a safe recovery, a safe delivery. So that was the delivery process. Esa es la Abigail. Your pants fell, mama. She's getting so big, it's crazy how time flies. Let me see if you guys can see her. If I lift her up a little bit. Hi, mamas. She got a big head now, but she had a little head before. Yeah, I did not tear. If anybody was wondering, I did not tear. So no stitches for me. So it was a fast recovery, thank God. Everything was great. Can't believe I have a baby. It's so crazy. Right, mamas? Right, mamas? Yeah. You like talking a lot? Yeah. Look at the camera. Can you see yourself? She's so beautiful and chunky. You're my chunky monkey. You're my little peanut. Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for staying till the end of the video. If you guys watched the whole thing, thank you for that. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know what other kind of videos you guys want to see. If you want the baby involved, if you don't. I know I do want to do some vlogging, so I'm just waiting for life to get a little bit more fun. But yeah, thank you. Bye.